2024 was once again a wild and wonderful year to be a part of the Civilization 6 community, so I thought it'd be fun to celebrate the year's end and a new horizon with Civ 7 to hop onto Reddit into r/Civ, the official Civilization page, cleverly disguised of course as VanBradley, to see what you, the community, voted as the top posts of the year. Now I won't pretend to know exactly how Reddit works, but I think all you gotta do is sort top, and then it'll give you some options. Then we sort by this year, and it'll give us the last 365 days. And boom, there we go. Post number 1. Let's get to reacting. I'm already having the best time. Possible logo for Civilization 104, and it's just Civ. This is such a fun post because it's hilarious, but also it's such like it's just a mirrored Photoshop or just like an alt drag down. It's not even a really good Photoshop of the logo, so it's like a perfect community post on a Reddit. Dream Turtle, you're getting my upvote. Just, I can see why this was the top post of the year. That's hilarious. On a side note, it would be a fun experiment to go down your family tree and know how many great-great-grandchildren you would need to have before somebody in your family was finally playing Civilization 104. Next up, of course, are some reveals for Civilization 7. I assume a lot of these will populate this list. I can imagine why people upvoted them. Do you remember this? Do you remember the moment where it was leaked a little bit on the website and we knew Civilization 7 was coming, but we hadn't seen anything about the game? That brief moment of time was so much fun. And then, of course, the gameplay reveal trailer. Interestingly enough, every time they've done a reveal of the gameplay, I've been more excited for Civilization 7, which is not the norm. I see a lot of YouTube comments being like, yo, this game's gonna suck or whatever. But yeah, this moment here, Lime Drop and Turbo Strider were on top of it. This was peak excitement for Civ 7. 7 months ago. That was 7 months ago. Wow. I had heard that Ursa Ryan was doing this, but I'm seeing it for the first time with my own eyes. Day 458 of drawing badly. So he's been doing this every day for 458 days. The 2K launcher will not stand the test of time. That's so funny. Hot take, I didn't mind the 2K launcher that much. I suppose it just didn't bother me. I prefer not to have it, but there was nothing offensive about it to me. So I don't really know what everyone's problem with the 2K launcher was, but it was bad enough that they took it out. They're not putting it back for Civ 7. And, you know, shouts to Ursa Ryan. If you haven't checked out his channel, you absolutely should. Some of the greatest Civ content out there. But this is sheer dedication. I will straight up refuse to buy Civ 7 if the sphere isn't a wonder. As someone who's been to Las Vegas twice, I don't even like going to Vegas. This is once for a work trip and once because my mom turned 50. So twice I was forced to go to Vegas, which, you know, boohoo me, whatever. But the sphere truly is hilarious. Like every time I've been to Vegas, it's just been such a joy to see the sphere. I don't know if it hits World Wonder territory for me. I've been to Machu Picchu that somehow had like a more World Wonder vibe to it, but I wouldn't mind the sphere. Specifically, what I want the sphere to do is these little faces. If you watch Formula 1 when they're racing, like the little eyeballs follow the cars down the strip, which is really funny, but I want it to make fun of me. Like every time I make a bad play or chop the wrong resource or settle the wrong city or whatever, I want the sphere to like start crying or to boo me or something like that. If you could use the sphere as a wonder and it would give you like tips and tricks or whatever, and then react to how you were playing the game, I'd be down for it. I'd build it. Apologies for interrupting our shared Reddit viewing experience, but if you're having a good time, you're watching this video, you're vibing out, make sure you hit the subscribe button below the video so you don't miss any of the awesome Civ 7 content coming in just a couple of weeks. Back to scrolling. The definitely not controversial Mark Zuckerberg wants to stream playing Civ. I'd be surprised if anyone in the world could beat me at that. I would like to see a 12-person like Civ Give style mono a mono match with Mark Zuckerberg in it. I believe that this guy's locked in. Whatever you think about Mark Zuckerberg or billionaires or whatever, that's a different video. I believe that this guy goes to Meta in the morning, does his CEOing or whatever, comes home and is locked into Civ. He seems like the kind of guy that would be very obsessive about the video games he plays. I imagine he's quite good. I don't know if he's the best, though. I know some good Civ players, and I think he'd kick my ass, but I don't know if he's beaten everyone. That's a fun tier list, though. Let me know in the comments below which Civ content creators you think could beat Mark Zuckerberg and which ones you think Mark Zuckerberg could beat, because I think that's pretty fun to do. I don't like the size of the chickens. So fair. I love your restraint, Justin. I'm also restraining from making a C-word C word joke. There's multiple C words. I just need to clarify. But I don't want to get demonetized on YouTube in this video. And so, yeah, I'm struggling not to make the joke, but hey, that's all good. The size of the chickens is concerning. And I think we can all agree the C can be too big. It is possible because this is slightly over large, I would say. So much Civ 7 discourse, but I'm not seeing anyone talk about the fantastic narrator choice, Gwendo Christie in the flesh. You know what? I like Gwendo Christie. I think it's a great narrator choice. Has anyone been shitting on this narrator choice? I think, yeah, I don't know. I feel like I've been talking about it. I feel like with the people I watch, and to be fair, maybe we're not watching the same Civ people, but I assume we are. Everybody has been like unanimously like, yeah, this is a great narrator choice. I think it's just more fun if you're making content and more popular and you'll get more views and clicks and likes or whatever. If you make content, going over the things you're not enjoying or that you think are going to go wrong or bad, that type of stuff tends to get more clicks and more views, which is likely why you're not seeing a lot of content creators focus on it, because it is kind of unanimously just a good decision. But yeah, great choice. Gwendo Christie, gonna rock it. I'm excited. New Civ 7 logo leak. I'm not gonna lie, this logo doesn't do anything for me. It doesn't suck the life out of it for me, but it's a little too monotone. It's a little too, I get what they're going for. This is like a marble or granite, and this is like chiseled in. You got all the wonders and the production and the steering wheel of the ship. I don't know what that's called on a ship. I don't sail. A steering wheel, whatever. Who knows? I know it turns the rudder. I know that much. Anyways, yeah, this logo's just not doing anything for me. It's not bad. It's not offensive in any way, but it's not like exciting to me. I'm so glad, my friend. We are the last two civilizations left. We stood the test of time as brothers. Yeah, we did. Just keep smiling at the sunset, brother. You know what? Don't do Gilgabro like this. Gilgabro is a homie, and you can win without dominating Gilgabro. Like, dominate the rest of the map, calm down a second, win a culture victory. Very demure, very cutesy, very mindful. We can respect the Gilgabro without shooting him in the back of the head with a weapon. We don't need to do that. Side note, though, it would be cool if you could go Crusader King style, and instead of like dominating somebody to win the game, you could do like a trial by combat in the information age, and they literally just give each leader like a handgun and a dice to roll, and they duel it out like Hamilton or whatever. That'd be fun. I'm suddenly rather interested in this island for some reason. It must be American. I enjoy how this post is not funny in any way. It's literally just someone saying that eliminating Spain is cathartic, and 7,200 people were like, hell yeah, brother, I agree with that. This is very good. You know what? I'll upvote that. I'll upvote that. Can you argue with this sentiment that Spain getting eliminated is awesome? I think it's pretty cool. Oh, this is fun. Sarah's introduction as the community manager. I don't know a lot about Sarah, obviously. This is not a person I know in real life. I've parasocially watched her on the live streams. She's been a great community manager so far. As a customer who's going to make a purchase of Civilization 7 in just a few short weeks, I feel informed. I feel like she's been on the Reddit, she's been on the Twitter, she was in the CivGive Discord hanging out and giving some information to us. And so I really just think that Sarah's done a fantastic job as the community manager. I don't know what we're basing that against. I don't know what people want out of their Civilization community manager. This is the first time I've been like online on the internet as part of a launch of a new game. However, I noticed that there's a lot of communication. It's coming and going through Sarah. She's everywhere all the time and seems to be doing a great job. So welcome, Sarah, to the Civ community. This is awesome. I didn't realize she'd only been on the job for 5 months, but hey, making an impact in that 5 months. And here's Sarah also saying the 2K launcher has been removed, which is really funny. And 6,000. I like how more people thought it was funny for Spain to be eliminated than they did. That they were excited for the 2K launcher to be removed. This is the difference here is just console players. I think there's a difference in console players here. I don't even want to look at this because it pisses me off, even though it's not true. I'm already like not aggravated or like angry, but really freaking annoyed at the Civ 7 like Founders Edition, the talking about a whole new age that's going to come into the game. And hey, maybe it'll come into the game and not be a DLC or whatever. But it's like knowing that they've actually made a game with 4 ages and they're selling me one with 3, knowing full well that they'll charge me for a 4th one later, and like saying that as part of the marketing. You know what I mean? Like and it's not just Civ, it's all the video games ever. I'm so annoyed and fed up with like DLC and everything in video games. And it's just, and when you're most excited for your game, it just gets more annoying. I have faith that Firaxis and 2K are not going to do this. Congratulations, sir. Your Civilization stood the test of time. Your next free Sid Crate. That's a pretty funny name, though. Sid Crate's pretty funny. We'll unlock in 24 hours. Here's an extra 250 Meyer bucks. Don't spend them all in one place, Your Highness. Winter Gilgamesh is a sick skin. Magical Girl Cleopatra. You know what's interesting though is this kind of monetizing. I don't actually mind that much. Like League of Legends is a great example. People get mad that they're charging like $100 for it. I could not care less about like the skins and the cosmetics or anything like that. Charge away, make away. If Civilization came out and they had like map tile, you know, they have this like map tile cover and you could buy 1,000,000 of those and they were $100, go for it. My problem is when video games, including Civilization 7, right, are advertising like almost another game worth of DLC before the game even released. You know what I mean? Like that just annoys me, and I'm done being annoyed about it. It's 2025. We're calming down about the Civ 7 DLC. There's nothing I can do about it. And I know they're gonna do it, and they're always. I just wish they wouldn't say. You know what I mean? Like, let me feel like I got a complete game first, and then charge me for more stuff. Don't make me know that I'm not getting the full thing you have planned right away, even though I'm paying the full. You know, anyways, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Done ranting. I'm glad they're not doing this. However, this would actually, to me, be the least offensive thing they could do. I would pay for Winter Gilgamesh, and I think you should pay for Winter Gilgamesh. And like, this is fine. This is fun. Okay, so this was something that was on Twitter. If you have not watched Philhelmina Kunk, it's not her real name. It's an actress who plays her. Diane Morgan, I think, is the actress's name. You have to watch this. It's so funny. I don't know how to explain it other than it's peak satire in the best way possible. What I want is for her to narrate. This whole thing here was about her being the narrator before Gwendo Christie was announced. And what I want is, like, I want her to record all the lines in the game, right? So she gets paid to be the narrator just like Gwendo. Right, and they record all the lines. But what I want is every 100th line to be read by Philhelmina Kunk, but you don't know which one it's gonna be. So you're just playing along and clicking and building your empire, and then she just comes in your ears, and you're like, oh, that'd be really funny. I don't know. That's what I want with Philhelmina Kunk. Man, Ursa Ryan is just going. How many more of these posts are just Ursa drawings? 3 in a row? 4 in a row? This isn't an Ursa drawing, but 5 drawings in a row. An acknowledgement on the Reddit. I'm not on Reddit a lot, so this Reddit promotion, I didn't see this until now. Keep drawing Ursa Ryan for now. That's really fun. That's a fun like Reddit specific promotion. We're at like 6 in a row. You know what? I really like this. Good work, marketing team. 2K marketing, they know what they're doing. Look at them go. Day 464. Oh my goodness. Choosing the next age's Civ is not fully flexible. It requires certain conditions. It does indeed. There was once a time where this was really big news, but I would like to take this moment to say that I have zero problem with this system at all. I know a lot of people do. There's a lot of people out there that have like a leader issue moving through the areas and picking new civilizations and stuff. I'm more than happy with like the one baseline one that you can follow if you want a more historical route, or like get 3 horses, be Mongolia, you know, destroy the earth. Like, I don't know. That's more fun, isn't it? That's more fun. I don't know. It just seems cool to me. This seems great. Glad to see Marbazir on the Reddit with 5,800 upvotes. Civ 5 permanent workers. God, I miss the Civ 5 workers so much. Not the workers in general, but the route to road building of the workers. Like, connecting my city capitals was always so fun because I could just route them and they'll build roads. And we did not get routable railroads in Civ 6. And I cried. I cried over it. Just kidding, but I wanted to. Civ 6 temporary workers. Yeah, that's, you know, you're not trying hard enough. Get the pyramids, put the 2 card in, get Liang going. You can get some pretty permanent workers in Civ 6. Civ 7, no workers. Civ 8, that's a good question. What is Civ 8? If we're doing, you're the worker in Civ 8. That is how it works in Civ 8. You have to physically do work in like a VR headset to build your tiles. They should do an exercise version of Civ, where if you want to do something, you have to like physically do the movement. I don't know. I'm just saying dumb shit now. Anyways, we're moving on. Civilization 7 director explains that each sequel is a massive overhaul because iteration and graphics improvements are not worthy of another chapter. Now, I'm going to do something bad here. I am going to not read the article and just read this title right here, which is bad. You shouldn't do that. You should always read the article, but I'm a bad example. And I just want to say this. I think we all universally dislike video games, specifically sports games, but there are other kinds that feel like just a rehash of the previous game, but you're being charged again for it, right? Whether it's remastered versions, which often I find are sometimes worth it, right? Whether it's like newly released. I don't want to take shots at particular games, but like Planet Coaster 2 just came out. I've got a lot of hours in Planet Coaster 1, and I'm just not buying There's no reason for me to buy Planet Coaster 2. There is nothing about that game that is like new or exciting or different or ambitious. Like for everyone's feedback about Civ 7 and the Aegis system and the Wonder system and the yada this and the yada that, it's like, here's what we can do. If you want the overhaul and the new iteration, they're charging you a lot of money for a new game. Get that new experience. If you don't want it, it's not like Civ 6 or Civ 5 or Civ 4, or maybe you're like an old world or a humankind person. Those aren't going anywhere. If you watch Civ 7 gameplay and you're like, this ain't for me, dog, I'm going to wait to buy it later on a sale or whatever, just open up Civ 6, continue on your journey. It's awesome. And so I think they need to be different because the old games don't go anywhere. It's like when your favorite band releases a new album and you don't quite vibe with it. It's like, that's okay. They're trying something new. The music you do like is still there. You can still listen to it. So yeah, I'm into this. Civilization 7 will not have hot seat. No, I want to be honest with you. Viewer, I want to be honest with you. There's been a lot of feedback about multiplayer hot seat. I don't know what that is. I don't know what that does. I don't know what that means. So I'm with you, multiplayer community, that we are fighting for hot seat. I am on team hot seat, but I don't know what makes the seat hot. I don't know what that does in a multiplayer game. Like when I start a game and I host it, am I the hot seat? If there is no hot seat, who's hosting the? I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's happening. I need some help having it explained to me, but we're on team put hot seat in Civ 7. This absolute mad lad, Han Shot First, guessed Gwendolyn Christie as the narrator 2 years ago. That's incredible. I mean, that's a good show. There's a lot of people with a lot of nice voices. You could have got that wrong pretty easily. I would have gotten that wrong. But now that it's like one of those things, once you hear Gwendolyn Christie do it, you're like, yeah, this makes sense. This fits perfectly. But to like know that without listening to her narrate Civ 7, just watching her in Game of Thrones, Star Wars, watching Brienne of Tarth in Game of Thrones, all-time favorite character, just incredible, right? That's a lie, not my favorite Game of Thrones. This is a tangent. Amazing Game of Thrones character. Anyways, if you're watching Brienne of Tarth and going, that'd be a good Civilization narrator, then that's a real leap, right? That's a real jump you're making, and you landed it. So Han Shot First, get an upvote for me. Another fun game, though, let me know in the comments what you think the line, like, so obviously people audition, I would assume. So they'll go to Gwendolyn Christie and a few other people and give them some lines to read so that they know that they're getting the right person. What lines do you think, what script do you think they gave to Gwendo Christie for her to nail the role? Denuvo, anti-tamper, DRM confirmed for Civ 7. I've seen a lot of people like really angry about this. It's another thing, I don't know what it means. Have I played a game with Denuvo before? How do I tell if my game has Denuvo in it? What is bad about Denuvo? I don't really understand. Like, I understand why a company would want an anti-tamper system in their game. I don't understand why they can't build their own and have to use like a Denuvo one. You know what I mean? I just don't know what's going on here. I don't know like what makes Denuvo bad. Someone tell me what makes Denuvo bad, please, because I'd love to be in the fight against Denuvo, but I just don't know what we're fighting for. All right, this is pretty cool, and you see this with video games a lot. It recently happened with somebody for Borderlands 4, which is really cool, another 2K game. And what happened here is that somebody's dad was in the hospital with stage 4 pancreatic cancer, and they wanted to try and find a way to play Civ 7 early. And, you know, Firaxis was like, yeah, we can play it early, but they couldn't make it to the city and they couldn't quite make it to them. You know what I mean? Like that wasn't, the logistics of doing that weren't quite working out, but the offer was great. But then they sent a signed copy, a code for a Founders Edition, a signed copy of Alpha Centauri. They sent some gifts over. I just think it's really cool for game companies to take care of their fans. And this is really sweet and this is really nice. And, you know, I'll leave the story here if you want to kind of pause the video and read it. But this is really nice and kind. And props to everybody. See, I told you Sarah was killing it. Look at her. She's down here. I told you Sarah was killing it. She's taking care of the very ill Civ fans, which is, you know, important. It's important that we take care of each other, and this is really, really nice. Where's the folks who are actually excited and open-minded about Civ 7? Me. I'm right here, baby. I got some things that I'm worried about. You know, a little bit of exploration age stuff not making sense in my brain. That's okay. I've said some things about DLC and Civilization that are not very popular, but I still believe in them. However, on the whole, if I had to rate my hype in a percentage, 96. 96%. I've seen very little about this game that leads me to believe that I'll dislike it in any capacity. So, yeah, I'm here. I'm excited. Patty T, reach out if you want a homie. I'll tell you forever how excited I am about this game. Civilization 7 got it backwards. You should switch leaders, not civilizations. Its current approach is an extremely regressive view of history. Now, this makes sense to me conceptually, assuming the concept here is something along the lines of like, if we started with no switching, and if we have to switch one of the two, the leaders can die because they're people, but the civilizations can stay. But I also understand it from the point of view they chose, whereas like picking a leader and being that leader is more satisfying to a player, and then the civilization evolving also happens in real life. So that makes sense to me, right? What I will say about this comment and a lot of other comments is that first off, I might be a rare exception. I just don't care. I just don't care about the historicity of civilization. A lot of people, when they talk about Civ, will like say it and they'll be like, Civ is like a historical game based on like, it's historical in the sense like Julius Caesar did exist and was Roman. Cleopatra did exist in Egypt. You know what I mean? You know what happens on turn 25 of every Civ game? That Russia builds the pyramids. The second you click next turn in a civilization game, Civ 2, Civ 3, Civ 5, Civ 6, the entire historicity of the universe is gone. Capiche, kaput, gone. Right? You are charting a different path through history. Right? The second you hit turn 2, you are taking the base, which was already pretty unhistorical because each leader has like unique abilities based on their real life counterpart that was researched through like a biased lens, right? And then had to fit within the mechanics of the game. And so it's like none of this is historical. It's more effort than most people put it in, and it feels really good. Like they do a really good job of going as hard as they can to make the history real and correct and all the rest. So this isn't a knock it for Access or anything. They are doing as much as they possibly can. But this is a video game where the whole conceit is that you are starting at the beginning of time. Not really, but like somewhere near the beginning of something. And then you're going to the future. To the future. Right? We're going exoplanet expeditions. If we're talking about like historicity and like a regressive view or whatever, I want everyone to like uninstall Civ 6 because the information or the exoplanet expedition exists. We landed on Mars. Like, what are we talking about? Nothing about Civ is at all even approaching like accurate historically in the way that people make it sound, right? They do a great job of creating a fun video game in a world that is based, like in some cases very factually, but in like leader abilities and whatnot very loosely in real world history, right? And then they let you kind of play it like a sandbox. And so it makes perfect sense to me that the civilizations, which I don't know, maybe it's just a rare opinion, but this view that a lot of people have, I just don't understand it. Like my brain is not computing what the problem is, and that's, maybe it's my fault, but yeah, that's how I feel. Civilization 7 first meet good tidings. I am Ben Franklin of Egypt. That's pretty funny. So here's what I mean. So when you say it like that, Docs Eki, also love Docs. Anyways, when you say it like that, all right, it makes sense what the problem is, because you're like, Ben Franklin didn't lead Egypt, right? And the problem is that that's how the game starts. But when you play Civilization at any other point but the beginning where Ben Franklin is Egypt, at any other point, it's immediately so far away from anything resembling real history, right? That I can't believe that this is the problem. I don't know, man. Like, all the people who would be mad about Ben Franklin of Egypt, which I get is, like, obviously not historically accurate, right? By turn 25 should look at their map and go, what am I doing? What is happening here? None of this makes any sense. So, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, the video game is awesome, and it's not awesome because of Ben Franklin Egypt stuff. Like, it's awesome regardless of this. Will Civ 7 feature globe maps? No, it won't. I don't even know if this would be cool or not, but we're not getting it, so I guess we don't know. This seems like a processing nightmare for a console, though. I'm not gonna lie to you. All right, so I've scrolled for another minute or two, and it's literally all just Ursa Ryan drawings that top the list. So congratulations, Ursa Ryan. You won the best Civ posts of the. You've got like 90 of the top 100. top posts of last year in the Civilization community. So Ursa Ryan is our winner. Gold medal. Congratulations. Thank you so much for indulging me on this look through history through 2024, what was going on in the Civilization community, what y'all were posting on Reddit. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Let me know what you thought down in the comments. We got merch and a Discord server in the description below. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you all very much, and we will see you in the next one.